Back to Access Tech Live.
Now, it's a great time of year because this is the time when you get to play with all the new tech toys. And, you know, Google got in there first with their big Pixel event recently, just ahead of Apple's event that we talked about earlier, coming up on Monday. And, of course, as we expected, there was a slew of new devices. And, Mark, you've got hands-on. I'm very jealous.
That is right. The star of the show, Stephen, of course, on the hardware side, was the Pixel 9. And in my hands, I've got the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Let's, of course, not forget to mention the Pixel 9 and the Pixel 9 Pro and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, all these different variations of the device. But here, holding in my little grubby hands, is the latest flagship device from Google, the Pixel
Yeah, you got to be
Pro
careful with those grubby hands. Covered in fingerprints.
Well, I got to be careful because the frame around this device, as I hold it up to the camera here, is super shiny, glossy stainless steel, and I'm trying to keep my fingerprints off it. I've got a nice little hanky here on the side, trying to do it, but I think I need to buy myself some hands-on display gloves. So, I mean, really, it's very much the same size as the iPhone Pro Max 15, at least, because we don't have a 16 yet. A pretty pronounced camera bump. When I hold it up sideways to the camera here, the camera bump is almost the width, the depth of probably about half the phone itself. Thankfully, they make cases, like this little speaking case I have here, which helps, you know, hide that a little bit. Of course, the back of the device, you've got that nice G logo. I've got the white color here, and you've got the camera bump. The cool thing about the camera bump, Stephen, though, is that it spans the entire width of the phone. So it's not like individual camera bumps that'll get dust and have to be cleaned. If you want to clean it, you just take your little handy cloth here and just wipe everything, and it's one piece of glass that's covering it. You've got 3 cameras on board there. You've got a 48 megapixel wide, a 50 megapixel regular camera, and of course a macro there as well. There's a flash and a depth sensor as well on this device, which is pretty cool. As I rotate the phone sideways, you see that shiny side. The right side of the phone has a kind of on-off sleep-awake button, they call it. Toggle up and down for volume up and down, which is pretty cool. Then, of course, the front of the device, 6.8-inch diagonal screen, which when you tap it is nice and bright. I think it's over 1,000 nits. I think we're probably 1,200 nits of brightness here, which is pretty cool. One of the neatest things, Stephen, about this is the fingerprint sensor on this, and I'll try to do this sideways and see how fast it is. Super fast, of course. On a live demo, it never works. I'm going to do, there we go. It opens up like super, super, super fast. It's a new ultrasonic design on the fingerprint reader, which is pretty cool. Camera notch on the front, again, a 42 megapixel front-facing camera. That's a little dot on the top of the screen. On the bottom of the device, you've got your speaker. Of course, you've got your USB-C charging port. You've got a vapor chamber that's there to actually reduce heat. So when you're doing high-end stuff like, I don't know, gaming on your device, you've got that as well. And that's pretty much all it, you know, the hardware design of this. Really comfortable in the hand. It's not a very heavy phone. It actually seems a little bit lighter than the iPhone itself. But overall, a really nice package, and everything under the hood, Stephen, is just as you'd expect. Like, the AI features are the star of this show. This is where everything other than, you know, a piece of glass with hardware behind it, the AI features are what really stick out. The Gemini in Android is just some pretty cool stuff, and we'll demo some stuff in a second. But I know you wanted to mention some of the accessibility enhancements in Android 15.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, you know, from my point of view as a blind guy, I'm interested in TalkBack, which is the screen reader that's built in to Android. Although I say built in, it's actually a separate app now. It used to be part of, you know, the overall Android experience. Now it's a separate app, which means it gets updated separately. That's pretty cool. So TalkBack 15 was released alongside Android 15. But some other features as well. You've heard us talk before about guided frame, which is a really cool feature that allows a blind person to be able to line up for a selfie. You know, you want to take a selfie, you want you know, raise that phone up in front of you. You want to know that A, that camera's facing you, that it's the right camera, and you also want to know that camera is in the right position. And if there are people with you in the shot, you want to make sure that they're in frame as well. And guided frame does that. But it's now got some new features as well. It's going to be found in camera settings. It's going to also have improved object recognition, so not just faces. Face filtering as well. I mean, this sounds a little bit like something people would do on that thing called Instagram. Whatever. And subject focus. You get more granularity in your control of guided frame, of taking the pictures, which is great. It's not just taking a picture, you're getting more control as well, which is really cool. Now, I mentioned TalkBack. Some really cool features coming, in particular, detailed image descriptions coming in, and this is using Google Gemini, the AI assistant you're talking about. They've actually built it into TalkBack. This is pretty cool. First time we've ever seen AI being built in this way from an assistant on a device being connected directly to an accessibility feature, which is fantastic. The Look app as well, that is pretty cool. It's getting some cool new features in there, in particular being able to search for objects around you. So if you've downloaded Lookout on your phone, you're able to use it to select text, be able to read short text, hold up a package in front of it, find out information about the package, who it's from or who it's for, all that kind of stuff. You can get that information through the Lookout app, but now it can even detect objects. So if you've left your keys lying around, you can't find them, you can use the app to help. That's pretty cool. There's some other ones in there as well. Better PDF accessibility in Chromebooks, on the Chrome OS in particular. This is great, of course, for blind and low vision kids who are having to use PDFs. Anybody, frankly, who's using a Chromebook. A new Chromebook magnifier as well, which is kind of cool. It was not that great at the beginning, and that was partly because, how can I say this, Chromebooks for a long time were not the highest and most premium devices. So for that reason, you had a few issues there. But of course, this is great because it allows people who have low vision to see the screen more easily. And of course, let me mention as well, Maps. We've talked about this before, but it's finally implemented in Android 15. You can now get more information about wheelchair accessible venues and places. Plus live captions now, available in more languages, which is great. Google Meet, if you use that platform, which by the way is extremely accessible, it now has a number of languages as well that you can change your captions there. So lots and lots of cool features. I could go on and on.
Yeah, and they keep up, announcing new updates all the time, so we're going to see that evolve. One of the funnest ones, it goes back to the camera for a second, is called Add Me. This is something they demoed on stage. It lets you, as the photographer, actually be part of the photo, thanks to AI. And I actually shot a little demo of this with my son Zachary in the living room. Let's take a look at that. So Add Me is a cool feature on the new Pixel devices and the new Android 15. We go into the camera mode. And on the bottom, where it gives us options as to what kind of mode we use, we choose a mode called Add Me. It's going to prompt us right away, photographer 1, that's me, leave space for yourself and take the first photo. So Zach, you go sit on the couch, and I'm going to bring the camera back up, and I'm going to leave space for me in the photo. So I'm going to take the first photo, and it's going to prompt me right away, photographer 1, hand off the pixel and join the scene. So Zach, come to me here. You're going to take the phone. I'm going to hit OK over here. And it says photographer 2, align the frame and take a photo. So I hit OK. Zach's going to take the phone from me. He's going to keep it pointed in the same direction. And I'm going to go sit on the couch as if I was next to Zach. Does it say anything on the screen?
Take photo. So now we're going to take the photo.
Of course, the dog went in the picture, so we'll see how this ends up working. Take the photo.
It's processing now. So we click on the image and it's processing.
Okay.
Even though the dog went there,
it actually got rid of the dog. And look, now we have a photo of me and Zach sitting together on the couch. Very cool new feature on the Pixel 9 and, of course, Android 15 called Add Me. And even Stephen, with my dog walking into the shot, I managed to remove her, which was kind of cool. Sorry, Augie, we still love you. Yeah, other great AI features include Reimagine. It lets you add things to photos. Finally, they announced new Pixel Buds Pro 2, featuring some pretty cool features like authentic sound, 2x noise cancellation, 8 hours of battery life, and Gemini Live built right in for things like real-time translation, which is pretty cool. And the Pixel Watch, really cool stuff, available in multiple colors. It has GPS, a step counter, it can track workouts, and one of the coolest features of the watch, I think, is a thing called loss of pulse detection, which, thanks to all of the sensors, can actually warn you and actually call for help if it notices that you've lost a pulse. I can't wait to see this in action, and hopefully it won't, do wrong things like that crash detection did in iOS. But it's really, really cool stuff. So if there's anything specific that you have a question about or want us to dive into deeper, let us know. You can send us an email, feedback@accesstechlive.com. You can get in touch with us on all our socials at Access Tech Live, and we'll definitely get to that stuff and so much more as we dive into this phone. Coming up here on Access Tech Live, what are you looking forward to this Tech-tember? The poll is up on our socials, and we want to know. So stick around. We'll get to that in just a moment.
There's more Access Tech Live to come. Get involved and have your say at Access Tech Live on social media. We'll be right back.